There's this common perception that in order to be successful in real estate, whether you're on the sales end or the investor end, that you need to be one of the loudest voices in the room. And that's simply not true, especially for investors. Investors are more analytical, numbers focused, and so introverts actually do really well as real estate investors.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kessel. Today, I'm joined by someone I'm looking forward to chatting with, Ashley Harwood, who is a realtor in Massachusetts, who also helps agents who are introverts get better at sales. So excited to have you here today, Ashley.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Perfect. Let's dive in. First off, for those not familiar with you and your work yet, can you share what your main focus is?
Absolutely. So I still am, I should say, back in production, working with residential buyers, sellers, and investors all over the greater Boston area. And a big part of my business is working with the introverts out there in the world in all the facets of the real estate industry. There's this common perception that in order to be successful in real estate, whether you're on the sales end or the investor end, that you need to be one of the loudest voices in the room. And that's simply not true, especially for investors. Investors are more analytical, numbers focused, and so introverts actually do really well as real estate investors.
Yeah, amazing. And is that something that you have struggled with as well?
So early in my career, I didn't know that I was an introvert. I thought I was more of an extrovert. I was going to a lot of networking events and I was very social, and I did enjoy being around people, but it was very draining and I would feel very tired after. I didn't know why. So once I learned what introversion really means, then I made some changes in how I was structuring my days and my schedule so I could better, sustain my energy and have more time and energy to build a bigger business without burning myself out. So I see that a lot, and it does all stem from my own experience years ago.
Yeah. And how did you overcome that?
I really honed in on what are the most impactful activities that I could do during my day. And I stopped wasting time. I stopped wasting energy for the most part. I mean, no one's perfect, but I honed in on what are the money making activities. Where is my time best spent? Where is my energy best spent? And for me, the most specific example I can give is shifting away from cold calling to in-person events and in-person networking, but limiting that so it wasn't being around people all day long, 7 days a week. It was okay, I'm going to go to this event and then the next day, maybe just work from home and chill and do paperwork and structure it that way so it wasn't too much in a row, if that makes sense.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are you supporting others through that now?
So I teach a lot of classes. I just wrote my first book on this topic. It's called Move Over Extroverts. It's a book on how to be a successful real estate agent as an introvert. It applies to more than just agents, though. It applies to really anyone in the business world where you're in control of your own schedule and your own energy. So a lot of the book is focused on that, how to balance that and manage your calendar and your lead generation. So the book has been a really helpful tool because it's an easy way for people to access the information.
Yeah, definitely. What are some of like the frameworks of the book?
So we start off with this energy management piece where I talk people through an exercise. There's actually a quiz people can take to find out where you fall on that introvert extrovert scale. It's really interesting. Some people are very surprised by their results. So, starting with just that self awareness piece and understanding if you're around people all day, is that going to be draining? Or if you're an extrovert, maybe you need that. You need to be around people all day to feel recharged and to feel energized. So we start with that and then we flow into how does that translate to your calendar? How do you schedule your days so that your most important tasks, you're showing up in your best way, and you're not totally just a shell of a person when you're going on a really important appointment? And then we talk about finding business, lead generation, and the last section of the book is actually doing the business of selling real estate and how to manage your energy through those things.
Yeah, amazing. And that's something that you think a lot of real estate people find themselves struggling with?
I do. I do. About half of the population are introverts. And what I find in the real estate industry is a lot of people don't even know that they are more introverted. So a lot of people are feeling burned out and feeling just more tired than they kind of should feel, and they can't source why. So what I do is I help people understand where that is, like, almost think about a faucet that's leaking and where is that leak coming from and how to shut it off. And then where do you put your effort that you're going to get the most, the highest return?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how has that supported your business?
I mean, it made a huge difference in my own business. I saw a big increase in my sales and my leads. My conversion rates went up. Everything got easier when I started doing less. Less, but more intentional and bringing a higher level of myself to those fewer activities. And I think that's true of most industries and most facets of the real estate industry is finding those few key things that will move the needle forward and letting go of all those other pieces that are just wasted time.
Yeah, 100%. And so, what are you most focused on now with your business?
So I'm about 50-50, still selling real estate and focusing on teaching classes, giving talks at different real estate organizations and conferences. And
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
selling the book and trying to find enough people who need what I have to offer. One of the other interesting facets of this is a lot of times I speak with somebody who maybe is more extroverted, but their either romantic partner or their business partner is introverted. So having this understanding, it might not be uh it might not be directly impactful for the individual, but it could be for somebody in their life. A lot of times we're partnered up with somebody who's the opposite. I don't know if you find that in your life, Michelle.
Yeah, I think that's common.
Yeah.
Awesome. And
Mm.
so, what are some of the keys that you feel have allowed your business to become successful?
Mm. Paring down my activities, not trying to do everything, but doing a few key things at a higher level. So, for instance, right now in my real estate sales business, I still need to find leads. That's the most common problem, right? The most common challenge. So instead of running around and trying to do 18 different lead generation tactics, I'm honing in on just a handful. For me, that looks like networking and mailers. Those are my two big pillars right now.
Yeah. And what have been some of the biggest challenges you've overcome?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, one of the biggest challenges was just getting out of this cycle of burnout because it felt so normal to me in my first couple years in business that I would be tired all the time and I couldn't source why. And so getting out of that spiral and really just finding some other things that were going to work, that made a huge difference. And one of the other hurdles has been spreading the word about, um, helping other agents who are in the same situation. And and I do have some investor clients as well who are, they struggle in a little bit different way, but they still need to go and find deals and they have to talk to people and be in the world. So it's just putting the word out there.
Yeah. How did you heal from the burnout?
I started taking more breaks throughout the day and throughout the week. I always recommend, if you can, to take 1 or 2 days off every week. And for some people, that's not easy. So even if it's just starting with an afternoon or morning here and there and then working your way up, I feel like the best way to avoid burnout entirely is to take enough breaks consistently versus waiting for the burnout and then you're out for a week or two. It's not That's not productive or efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you see like your investor clients struggle with?
They struggle to find deals. I mean, we're in Massachusetts, so there aren't a lot of properties where the numbers work, especially for flips, because everything is so expensive. Um, we are also, this might not be timely when this airs, but we are facing rent control on our ballot this year, which is really interesting. So we have a whole campaign to educate the public on why this would be so terrible for our state. If it passed, it would be the most restrictive rent control law in the entire country. So we're really fighting that. That's one of the challenges. A lot of investors are nervous about that right now, and people are holding off because they want to see what happens.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, what is that? Like, what are the issues with that law? Like, what would happen?
It would be really bad. It would be a statewide law. So it would have the same rules for a very urban area like downtown Boston as Cape Cod, which is a vacation hub, as Worcester, which is there's a lot of universities. It would cap rent at either 5% or inflation, whichever is lower. So inflation has been hovering around 2.5 historically. Um, it would also not allow for a reset at vacancy or at the term of sale. So no resets. You couldn't, like landlords would not be able to bring up the rents back to market if they had been keeping it low for a good tenant. See that sometimes. If you have a tenant who's been there for years and you keep the rent below market for them, those landlords are going to be penalized if this passes, which is not good.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
Are there any opportunities that you see in the real estate market in your area?
I mean, I do see a huge opportunity for buying three-family homes. We have a lot of two and three-family homes that were built in the early 1900s. And this is already being done a lot in Greater Boston, but in other pockets of Massachusetts, there's still an opportunity to buy those and do a condo conversion. So that's one of the best ways, as long as you can keep the costs down, those construction costs. But turning those triple deckers, as we say, into condos is one of the biggest opportunities if investors want to stay in the state.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as far as like your career as an agent, is there anything that you're seeing as well for more of the home buyers?
I'm seeing we have several different markets happening at the same time. I'm seeing a lot of buyers wanting to be in the single family home out in the suburbs. So those properties, as long as they're in good shape and they're priced right, those are flying. We're still seeing bidding wars. And, a friend of mine just said she had her buyers got outbid and there were 39 offers. So that is still occasionally happening. On the other hand, we're seeing a kind of mass exodus out of downtown Boston. The condo market has really slowed down this year. So properties are sitting on the market a lot longer. There's more inventory, which is a good thing for buyers, but the sellers are struggling because the comps aren't what they were a year ago.
Yeah, and do you think that's just because of pricing?
Um, Part of it is pricing. Of course, price solves everything, but if you have somebody who paid a certain amount and they don't want to sell for less than that, you're kind of stuck. You're at the mercy of the market. But we are seeing a lot of people leaving Massachusetts right now, which is interesting. A lot of people going south, going to the Carolinas, going to Florida. It's an
Is that
interesting
because
time.
of the price of Massachusetts, or what do you think it is?
I think part of it's price, part of it's weather, part of it's politics, and it's some of it is uncertainty too around what's going to happen in the world.
Yeah, a lot of things out of the control.
Yeah.
Yeah, so What are you most focused on solving or scaling to next?
I'm focused on really scaling my speaking business as well as my real estate business. So I'm excited to be traveling to a conference in about a month where I'll essentially audition for a bunch of event planners around the country. So that'll be a good opportunity to get my name out there in the speaking community a little bit more.
Amazing. That's exciting.
It is. It is. How about you? What are your goals for the future?
Yeah, just continuing to grow our podcast and our community.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. And before we begin to wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, learn more, where can people find you and connect with you?
Absolutely. So I'm on Instagram at Ashley Harwood Realtor. I do run a Facebook group called Introverts in Real Estate, so you could join that group. And then my website is moveoverextroverts.com.
Perfect. Well, appreciate your time and your story. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. And for the listeners that are tuning in, if you got value, make sure you have subscribed. We've got more conversations with operators like Ashley who are building real businesses, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.